Welcome dear student to the course Translation into Arabic for second stage students, Department of Translation, Morning Studies. Today we are going to explain features of good translator. According to Newmark 1988, any good translator should have the following feature. You as a translator must have the ability to comprehend the foreign language that you are going to translate. You must have a knowledge of the subject matter that you are going to translate. Suppose you are going to translate economic text or legal text, you must know the lexes and the way people in that language deal with this subject matter. You must be proficient in both languages, your mother tongue and the foreign language that you are going to translate in it. And you must have competence to write the target language in a clear matter and economically. Once you have the ability to translate any language, you must be able to write that language in a proper way. Now, Newmark 1988 presents 8 methods of translation. And before we are going to explain what are these methods of translation, we must distinguish between two terms. What is translation methods? What do we mean by translation methods? And what do we mean by translation procedure? Translation methods relate to the whole text, that you are dealing with the whole text when you translate, whereas translation procedures are concerned with sentences and smaller unit of the language that you are going to translate into. Now we come to the translation methods. The first method we have, and it is the old-fashioned method, and nowadays we don't use it, which we will call it word-for-word translation, in which the translator is concerned with the source language word order, and he tries to preserve these words and translate it singly by their most common meaning out of the text. And second type of translation method we call it literal translation, in which the source language grammatical construction are converted to their nearest target language equivalent. That's to say, when you as translator, when you want to translate according to this method of translation, you must pay attention to the grammatical construction that is found in English, for example, and you convert it into their nearest target language equivalents in Arabic. And we have other methods of translation method. We call it semantic translation, which differ from faithful translation in their account of the aesthetic value of the source text. The most important thing in semantic translation is the aesthetic value of the source language text. Now we have come to other kind of methods of translation. We have adaptation, which is the freest form of translation, and it's used mainly in plays, comedies, poetry, themes, and character and plot. In this kind of translation, the source language culture is converted to the target language culture, and the text is rewritten again. Free translation is produced by the target language text without the style, without the form, without the content of the original. That is to say that the translator is free when he tries to transfer everything found in the source text. And we have another two methods of translation. The two last, idiomatic translation. It reproduces the message of the original, but tends to distort the meaning that is preferred by the colloquialism and idioms, where these do not exist in the original. Faithful translation, it attempts to produce the precise contextual meaning of the original without the constraint of the target language grammatical construction. That is to say that the translator is not paying any attention to the grammatical structure. The most important thing for him is the contextual meaning of the text. And we will here end our lecture. Thank you very much for your listening.